Lucy, and I think I can safely say this bit has been an absolute phenomenal couple of days, and I hope everyone's enjoyed it. I have a couple of thanks that I want to give on behalf of HSBC as the sponsor. One is to all of the speakers, and I know Inez will echo me in this. We've had such talent on the stage over the last couple of days, and I know everyone in the room will echo that we've learned lots from everybody who's been up here. I also want to thank LJ and Kira and the team for all of the organisation and the venue. I'd also really like to thank, you'll have seen around the last couple of days, lots of fantastic young women in HSBC T-shirts. These are our graduate population who I co-opted and coerced into coming to help, and they have kept us moving through the last couple of days. So a huge thank you to them, because they've taken time out of their busy day jobs and had to negotiate with their bosses to come and help us for the last few days. Lucy, thank you. You've been fantastic. I'm slightly biased. She's ex-HSBC, but she's been a magnificent MC. Also, I want to thank everybody for being here. As a sponsor, you're always keen to make sure there's lots of people in the room, and we've definitely managed that. But it wouldn't be what it is unless you were here. I'm going to reflect a little bit in a minute as I close my remarks on the last few days. But before I do, I will get in real trouble with Inez if I don't say, if you're not already a member, fantastic, please continue being a member. If you're not a member yet, you need to see Inez or Karel before you leave. And we would love you to join our community, because it is more powerful the more of us who are involved. My reflections on the last few days, I'm going to go back to, and I'm paraphrasing something that Nikki said on her panel, because I think it really encompasses what we're trying to achieve. And what she said was, women want the same access to insight and network and knowledge as the men have. And I would add funding and money into that. But they don't get invited. And I think, as female entrepreneurs constantly tell me when I speak to them, is that knocking on the door all the time is exhausting. And actually, they want that door to be opened, and we have the power in the room to make a big difference. But what they are is incredibly resilient. What they are is incredibly determined. Our role as an industry, whether it's on the development bank side, whether it's the commercial banks, or whether it's the regulators and the central banks, our role is to help get them there, is to get them connected and to elevate them when they get there. I don't think that anybody in this room doesn't think that the women that we know, both as individuals and those who run businesses, won't absolutely run with it if we get them to that point. So I think that is our job, is to amplify the amazing women that we work with in our organisations and our customers. My final thought is, I'm going to go to a quote which I use quite often from Margaret Mead, and I'm going to get it wrong because I'm terrible at quoting correctly, but it effectively says, don't be amazed when a small group of dedicated citizens change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has. The power and passion in this room, and the power and passion in this room, is the thing that will make the difference. So I'm going to leave it there and pass to Inez, but let's go out there, let's change the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sam. And indeed, you've thanked a lot of people, so I'm not going to repeat the people that you've thanked, but I would like to, of course, with the speakers. I mean, I thought as you're right, the content was absolutely phenomenal, and also the networking and meeting everybody. I thought the whole vibe and energy this year was absolutely incredible, and I also thought that having it here in the UK with such an evolved ecosystem really helped all of us think and expanded our horizons about what we're doing in financial inclusion for women. And also, wasn't it wonderful to see so much diversity up on stage and to hear about what's going on in Bangladesh, what's going on in Nigeria, what's going on in Australia. It's just phenomenal. Like it's the same issues. It's never boring. It's always so interesting to understand what people are up to. And I think that I was just saying to somebody in the break, I really do believe that we have the solutions. We just have to codify them and share them and get more people involved, because I think we know what we need to do. And there was an awful lot of interesting insight, I thought, around the whole VC thing, the angel piece, etc., and the data, of course. So phenomenal. Thank you all for your contributions to that. And we have other partners, of course, in the room, who must also be thanked. So HSBC obviously was the sponsor of the summit, and that's important. The Alliance is funded by our member dues and then by some strategic partners. And each year a member puts up their hand and sponsors the summit. So I hope you got an ROI out of this, Sam, but it was fantastic to have you and the backup, and you saw the quality of what we could deliver because of HSBC's support. So thank you to HSBC. In particular on the HSBC team, obviously Sam, Gaia Thierry, Alex, Helen, Joe, and the rest of the team that was mentioned. To the back of house, of course, we have Simon Frost and his team at Encore, Marta and the staff at the venue here today, from housekeeping to catering. The food was delicious. To Alex and the Editions team, as well as the Potarmigan media team, and also our wonderful photographer, videographer, AV tech team, and really a great audiovisual experience. And last but by no means least, the phenomenal Alliance team. So first of all, to Melanie and Joelle, who have been instrumental in making sure the summit journey has been seamless and the outcome is top quality. So Joelle is not online, she's online, but Mel, if you'd like to stand up, if you're here. Thank you very much. Mel, actually, the first 6 months so I was the first staff member of the Alliance in November 2012. So the first time they ever had a staff person. And then 2 months later, we brought 5 banks to my mother-in-law's house in Cape Cod, and we sat down and we wrote the how-to guide to winning the women's market. And Mel took that home, and during her pregnancy, I think you had to lie flat for 6 months, and you finished that. So she's been with us since the beginning. Thank you, Mel. To Corrine, Tessa, and Caroline, who've been hugely supportive. You stand up, please, in the content, relationship management, and communications. And last but by no means least, Kirill Achillian, Director of Marketing and New Business Development, who led the entire summit design and implementation and hasn't had a wink of sleep in 6 months. Thank you, Kirill. And finally, of course, to Sam Cooper-Gray, who is an incredible leader and really a pleasure to work with. Thank you so much, Sam. We really appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody.